Hopefully this works and I can get some of you back. Yeah, I think we're good now. Yeah, I was talking about a flicker. There was some flicker, and the my stream was down. I don't know what the hell happened. Sometimes it's odd though. Like it'll say it's down on my end, but you guys still say that you can see me and hear me. But I hear audio says and yeah, I think it was something got jacked up. I saw people say they couldn't hear me. I don't know what happened as far as the stream not being able to hear me. I know my power must have went out. It was such a light flicker because I checked on my phone and my internet was out on the phone on both routers. So I know it had to have been just a hiccup. Anyway, I'm back and I do want to chat about the Walking Dead comedy spinoff. And a lot of you talked me into watching The Mandalorian, so I did start watching that. I do want to say a couple things about that and then discuss anything else you guys want to talk about. Let me pop out this chat here. But yeah, first off, Merry Christmas. New pin chat. You can now pin a message. I know all that, buddy. I was saying before, I wanted to do a stream earlier. I know a lot of people are going to be sleeping now. Maybe I can catch some of y'all putting presents out. But I had some dental work done, and the dentist gave me, because it was deep, so the dentist gave me antibiotics, and it was amoxicillin, and I forgot. It's been like since I was a kid, I had to take amoxicillin, but I'm allergic to it, so I had an allergy reaction to that, so I had to take Benadryl, and Benadryl floors me. It puts me on the ground. I'm just like a mess, so I couldn't stream before, but I don't know what it is about Benadryl, but it destroys me. No, I have not previously watched The Mandalorian. I did finally get around to checking it out because some people said the ending of season 2 was like, oh my god, insane. I won't talk about it just in case, not yet, just in case anyone in the chat hasn't seen it yet, but I put on season 1. The episodes are only like 30 minutes long on average. I think like 30 to 40 minutes. And they're off and on. Some are 30, some are 40. Anyway, I ended up binge watching season 1 and 2. It has some problems for sure. There's definitely some issues. There's definitely some just loose. You could tell it's a really loose writing style where it's like, okay, we'll just do this leads to this and this and this. And there's a couple main plot points charted through the entire story arc. And then there's a continual loop of, I wish I knew some clever ways. Maybe there's an official way to word it, but there's a loop writing style where it's kind of like if you ever watch a procedural drama, like a cop show. You know, they go for the crime happens, they go for the crook, and then they go to court. Every episode, crime, they, solve it, arrest them, go to court, but it's all different because it's different crimes, it's different, but it's the same loop. Well, the Mandalorian is that loop writing style where it's like, okay, I need to travel to take this person to a certain location. That's the story arc for 2 seasons. And I go here, you help me, I help you, and then I go to the next location. You help me, I help you, and then the next location. I will say by the end of season 2, it changes, or at least it looks like it changes the overall story drastically, where the main story arc is complete. It completes it in 2 full seasons, and I thought that idea alone was perfect. Perfect timing, perfect placement, because early on in season 2, I started getting a little burned out. And it's not because I binged it. If I didn't binge it, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it as much. I think it is better to binge this kind of show just simply because if I would have had to wait week after week after week and it's that same loop writing style, I probably would have stopped, let a few weeks build up, and then go back to it, because it is frustrating when it's one episode starts and it's like, okay, I'm looking for this person. Well, if you help me, rob this thing here, and then we'll run over here, I'll give you the name of the person. And then by the end of the episode, it's like, okay, buddy, let's go find this person. You know what I'm saying? So that writing style wears thin. So for 2 episodes, 30 minutes each, for only 8 episodes a season, it worked for those 2, and it had some strong connections. It was also another cliched, or not even cliched, but it should be a genre in and of itself. It's very much like The Last of Us. Now, we've seen that in a ton of different stories where you have 2 characters, often an adult and a child, and they are teamed up. Neither one of them necessarily wants to really be with the other person, but they're teamed up, and then they build a bond, right? This is a common trait we've seen in numerous movies. I just had one on my head. Even The Walking Dead's, Telltale's The Walking Dead did it too, with Clem and Lee. The Last of Us with Ellie and Joel. This here with the child and the Mandalorian. But again, I think kicking off with season 3 with a whole new thing, following the Mandalorian and a whole new shebang, it comes perfect, because you're still going to want some of the old characters from season 1, especially the child. I'm sure most of you, even if you didn't watch it, you know of the child. You're going to want the child back. However, not that same loop style. Because imagine watching 4, 5, 6 seasons of doing this mission. Okay, we're going to this location. Like, they did it perfect. Now they need to rock out with the Mandalorian. Probably, and I know some people are not going to like it, but 1 full season without the child. Maybe peeking it here and there. Now, I don't know what they're going to do with the child and the new whatever happens, how it ended. However, I think there's room to grow to be able to do a mix of some when it comes to the storytelling. You heading in? Oh. Get out of here. Good night. Love you.
Love you.
Please shut my door.
Oh my god, you're so selfish. Taking up
All right. Now, the Walking Dead comedy series. Now, all right, let's jump back to The Walking Dead. For anyone else who wants to discuss The Mandalorian, maybe let's give it a few minutes. I'm not going to be streaming long because it is kind of late, but maybe we'll go over some details for those of you who already saw The Mandalorian. And another thing as well, I've noticed we shipped out, all the comic orders are shipped. My comic, Doomsday Kingdom, you can't see it, but it's up here on the rack. For those who don't know, it's a fantastic zombie story. It's grounded. It's a bit different, though. If you're expecting a Walking Dead clone, it's definitely not it. But we got some badass stuff and a special issue 6 preview that's banging. But anyway, everyone's is shipped, but I guess the mail is backed up, so there's a stack of them that haven't quite made it to the person's address yet, but it is in the mail. It's just busy season. Anyhow, when they get those, we're going to do a stream probably around before New Year's Day, I'm hoping, but around there, and it'll be strictly a Doomsday Kingdom stream for anyone and everyone who read Doomsday Kingdom. So, let's see what you guys have to say, and then we'll discuss this spin-off, because I think there's always, I always leave the door open for something good coming out of anything, any project, whether it's a comic book, whether it's a video game, whether it's a TV show or a movie, whether it's season 1 or season 100, it doesn't matter. As long as a fresh out perspective shows up in the writer's room, mixes it up a bit with a touch of talent, and a touch of passion, and a touch of love, and they whip something up, you can make it work. Like, I really feel like if they brought in the right writers, the right zombie fan writers. I'm sick of The Walking Dead bringing people in, and I don't believe half of them even like zombie shit by the way they write, just because they'll write the dumbest shit, and it's like, but that's not how a zombie operates. You know, if the zombie's not stabbed or shot in the head, it's gonna try to get up and eat you. It's not gonna lay there and wiggle on the ground like it's an injured human being. That's the dumbest shit. Like, World Beyond did that shit repeatedly, and it was so obnoxious. I can tell those people, and when you hear The Walking Dead in Hollywood now, even if you're an up-and-coming writer, you're going to be like, even if, maybe you're not thrilled about zombies, but you didn't hate them either, of course you're going to be like, oh yeah, I love zombies. We always get that in Hollywood, where 5 or 10 years after the fact, people are like, now they come clean and they're like, nah, I was never into zombies. I was totally new to zombies, but yeah, it was a new gig. I wanted to, get my feet wet or whatever. I wanted to get on the project. All the time when I watch behind the scenes stuff, years after the fact, people talk like that, Anyhow, so I think there's a way to do it right and do it good. However, I'm 90% certain this is a warning sign that The Walking Dead is in serious trouble. If it wasn't AMC saying we're done with the original show, that was another huge warning sign. The lawsuit revealing that The Walking Dead is not making money. I think when it comes to the comedy show, it feels like it's AMC going, all right, we got to mix it up. What can we do? And then they go, let's do comedy. Kind of like Friday the 13th, Halloween, when they go, we're sick of Michael Myers and want to mix it up and do something new. Season of the Witch. And you know what? That might have been good. I've never watched, Season of the Witch. I'm going to be watching it soon for the Flaw and All reviews, but I've never seen it. But if it came out on its own, I hear it would have been probably a Halloween classic, the season, not the franchise. But because everyone was wanting and expecting Michael Myers, it came out and people were like, I'm not watching that. That's what I did. I was a kid and I wanted Michael Myers. I wanted that shit to continue. And when I heard he's not even in it, I was like, nope, pass. I think I rented Jason, one of the, Friday the 13th. Same thing with Friday the 13th. It starts doing poorly, or maybe it's not received as well, and they start mixing it up some. Friday the 13th had a kind of a clever change up with part 6 though, because someone came in, and again, someone with a fresh style and a bit of passion added some comedy to it, and it actually worked. Part 6 is a lot of people's favorites. But then you get someone who comes in and goes, I'm going to get rid of the hockey mask. Jason Voorhees. And they come in and they're like, yeah, I'll just get rid of the hockey mask. By that point in time, you can't get rid of the hockey mask. What are you, crazy? I got to go to this dono, though. This dono came in. Horror Movie Hustle came in with the pow, with a $50 bomb, massive. You didn't have to do that, but thank you very much. That is tremendous help, especially in these trying times with COVID running amok all over the damn place. Everyone's hurting. I feel your pain. Thank you very much. Thanks for all the awesome content over the years. Great job. Megapath Presents has always been my go-to for the Walking Dead content, and I'm stoked to see you move into even more horror-related stuff. I love the live shows. Merry Christmas from Horror Movie Hustle. And another one, what is that? Normac the Hooligan with a $5 dono. Z Nation is cool. I appreciate the no greatly. I will say no to Z Nation. No, it's just not my cup of tea. It's really not my style. I can see myself enjoying Z Nation maybe in a few years. I've kind of loosened up with the zombie genre in a way more and more because I like it grounded. For some reason, the zombie genre works for me on a tension level, suspense level, on a fright and a creep factor when it's grounded. When it's not grounded and it's kind of like like Zombieland, or it's kind of fun to like a popcorn movie with friends, but I don't genuinely put it in to just get that vibe. Like with the Walking Dead season, earlier seasons, just has something to it. But going back to Movie Hustle, in my eyes right now, the Walking Dead franchise is dead and done. Now, I didn't pair it with Baby Yoda in the thumbnail, on accident. For years, I've been saying The Walking Dead is the modern day Star Wars. And I don't mean that by genre or anything of the sort. I don't mean that by mixing the fan bases. Not at all. What I mean specifically is the fact that that franchise has legs to spring seeds and spring off spin-offs. I've been saying this for what, like, I told my best friend in season 1 that this is the modern day Star Wars. And at that time, I didn't even know they were going to make any more. I said, if they wanted to, this thing is golden. There's so many different opportunities where you can splinter off and do all this, and the third. But I've been saying it for like 7 years on this channel. You can go back and watch my old videos. I've been saying it, and I still believe it. But I do believe it. Also feel at this point in time, it will continue to be out there in a movie, in a video game, in a comic book, in some form. It will always poke its head back up and become something like the Rick movies or the Daryl movies. The main show is leaving. We're getting these other spin-offs. It'll always be around, even if it falls so low where they get rid of all the shows and they wait a year or two and then reboot it. There will always be something going on in The Walking Dead, or whether they reboot it with a movie series with new characters or whatever it is, or they jump into the future, they start doing comedy stuff. The Walking Dead will always be around. But me personally, I feel like the franchise itself is just at it's weird because it's going to continue on. It's going to live on, but it's just dead in the way that it wasn't what it used to be, you know? And that peak where I probably could sustain a channel where we just dive in and do only the Walking Dead stuff and rock that out for another, 5 to 10 years. Who knows? In 6 years, it might bounce back and blow up and be insane. But I do want to move on, and lately I've been taking some time. I've been doing some other stuff. However, I was really thinking about what I want to do for the YouTube channel moving forward, and I got a couple options. One option is to just kind of back away, and then we'll touch base every now and then. And to be honest, I did kind of fall back for December. November and December, I was working, though. It wasn't like I'm just, putting you off to the side. I was working on other stuff and doing other things, and I was kind of thinking, should I just kind of back away and yada, yada, yada. But the truth is, and I keep fighting it, but there's a certain type of video style that I loved. I love the high editing, the polished videos, doing video essays, the flaw in our reviews. I love that stuff so much that when we do bring the content back, and it is coming back right in the beginning of 2021, I made up my decision for right now. We're going to stick with Flaw in All Reviews. I fucking love them. I went back and rewatched some, and I was just like, yo, I should have done more. And to be honest, I should have. I should have released more. I have some that are released, but they were blocked by copyright block. They were blocked in 180 countries. So I did pull them down, but when you spend, 40, 50 hours editing a video, sometimes you just don't even want to put it back in the editor and spend 5 more hours putting it together. You just can't. It breaks you. So I will find time. I'll put them in the editor. Those are The Boys episode 1, and the other one is Day of the Dead, Flaw in All Reviews. Those are done. I got to re-edit them and upload them. However, I am doing Friday the 13th. I still really wanted to do Gremlins for the Christmas, but we can do them. It doesn't matter when we do them. And obviously, you guys will get more and more involved. We have the Discord up. We have the Patreon up still. And once the videos start dropping in January 2021, we're going to get more interactive with you guys. I'm going to touch base when I'm doing the scripting, and we'll have some live streams for just members only while I'm doing the scripting. Only because, I don't think the public would really give a shit about those type of streams and stuff. Dr. Death with another dono. I'm worried for the future of The Walking Dead and really wish Nicotero would be a showrunner for one of these shows. Merry Christmas, Jules and Ronnie. Merry Christmas to everybody. If I forgot if I said that before, but also thank you very much. And I'm also worried for the future of The Walking Dead, but I still know, as bad as it gets, it's going to be rebooted. Now, I was doing research on what's the likelihood that Robert Kirkman can take his franchise back from AMC. And because here's the thing, I don't know how this works when it's a split universes. Like right now, Kirkman has the rights to the comic universe. However, AMC has the rights to the movie universe, the cinematic type universe. I don't know what's in the contract. Like, if they want to reboot it, does that negate the contract? Do they have to stick with this universe? Because sometimes there's stipulations in there. Also, there's another factor where after like 35 years, I think it might be 35 years, the original person with the rights can now get the rights back. That happened with Alien, I'm pretty sure. Was it Terminator or no? And it happened with Friday the 13th, I believe. There's a rights issue with that because one person has the rights for Jason Voorhees and another person has the rights for the Friday the 13th name. I think that was the original creator. The name, Camp Crystal Lake, and the structure of the story with the mom and the this and the that and whatever. So that's what splits it. But I'm sitting here wondering, like, is there a comment pending? Hold on. I can probably pass it if there's no mods around. I don't see any. Oh, wait, there it is. It sucks, asshole. What's that mean? Season of the Witch was not a comedy. That's not what we were talking about, though. We were talking about changing things up. I wasn't saying Season of the Witch or anything else, not comedy related. I'm talking about switching from, grounded, serious drama to comedy. That's a switch. Michael Myers to horror anthology, Halloween horror anthology. That's a switch. Maybe I worded it wrong. I'm not sure why you thought I was calling it a comedy. Again, maybe I just zipped through it quick. Yeah, I watched Black Summer. It had me enough to finish it, but I did not like it. Jason needs to sack back over his face. Friday Part 2. I had a script idea I really liked. I did go back and read through it again, and there's a lot of problems with some of the characters, because some of them I just put in there to get killed. Fuck it, But I would love to maybe go back and have it rebooted, but a little bit slower, not so condensed. Like the remake tried to crush everything in one movie. So the intro was 20 minutes long, and it covered Mrs. Voorhees getting her head cut off in the credits, the opening credits, then Sackhead Jason, and then that spills over into Jason getting his mask, and they borrowed parts where the one guy was coming looking for his sister, which in the original I never understood that because he knew his sister was dead. In the remake, they changed it to where he's looking for his missing sister, as opposed to the guy showing up just because his sister is dead and he thinks that Jason is still out there and he wants answers. Anyway, they crammed Friday the 13th, the original, part 1, 2, 3, and 4, into the 2009 remake. And I feel like if they would have turned it into a double feature or a trilogy or even 4 movies, actually that's funny, 4 original and 4 new, they could have done something. Like in my spec script of, it's not even called Friday the 13th either, which I think about it now is perfect because the one person doesn't own the rights to that, but the spec script that I wrote is just called Crystal Lake. And I would change that though, because I'm thinking I want it to keep Jason and not keep him in Crystal Lake, but that's besides the point. Anyway, the my part one, and this is just from passion from a fan's perspective, it's all about Jason essentially, and he wins. In part 1, he wins. The ending of my script is one of the final victims, male victims, because there's another female girl, and she kind of represents the setup for the final girl. And again, it's paying homage to that idea. She's not really the final girl because she's going to get hunted down and killed, but the final frames, you don't hear the new Jason theme through the whole movie, but the final frame is one of the guys that dies pulls Jason's mask off. We see his hideous face, but he's got this twisted smile on, and it shows that he fucking loves this shit. He loves the killing. I mean, he loves it, you know? He's got this twisted smile, and then he puts his mask back on. And again, my version of Jason would run and move fast like the original did. But to get the final girl right before the credits, his mask comes off, he's smiling and grinning, the girl screams, she runs off, and he drops the body of the guy on the ground off his machete, puts on his mask, and he doesn't run after her. He knows she's running deeper into the woods. I'm good. I got this. He starts walking, and as he passes the camera, her scream fades. Jason doesn't run. He walks. Again, it's paying homage to the Jason Just Walks. And that's when the new theme kicks on. And it's the Jason, the kill. It's kill, 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 ma. Everyone always thinks it's J, but it's not. They mix kill, 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 ma, ma, ma. Anyway, so that's where and then it would transition to a closeout and then the credits. So Jason wins in my version of what part 1 would be. There would be a follow-up movie to that as well, and I would love to close it out. I was thinking too, like, if I did write a Friday the 13th, I wouldn't want to just leave it for some asshole to show up and just fuck with it, that would be terrible. So it would be like a 2 or 3 parter, but I fucking love that. As a fan, I love those ideas of knowing we're going in here rooting for Jason. We're going to fall in love with a couple of the human characters, sure, but we're going in there rooting for Jason. So I don't know. And I have some stuff that connects with the original. I talked about it before, where Jason actually had a brother, and his brother was the one who drowned in the lake. In my version of the Friday the 13th script, you would see a Pamela Voorhees with a Jason Voorhees live. Again, it's twisted around a bit, but it's got some twists and turns, but his brother was the one who drowned, and his brother was Josh, and that's what Jason's name was supposed to be in the original. However, we do come back around and explain some connective tissue with what the original did. But my idea there is to victimize Jason to a degree. Like there's one moment with a little kid, I talked about this before, that I loved, and he ends up not killing the kid. And then there was another moment with his adopted stepsister, whatever, not sister, but they live in the same house. They were orphans in an adoption center. His mother went to an asylum, and she was suspected, but it was never proven, that she was abducting counselors at the camp and killing them. And that kind of pays respect and homage to her being the original killer, but Jason would end up taking up the mantle. And in this version, he gets a little boat, goes down to the creek, and goes into Camp Crystal Lake, and he snatches up some counselors and shit too. But again, there's a lot of shit there, but I don't know. I have so much love for the idea of coming out with a new badass Friday the 13th. But I don't think you're going to please the fans, because a lot of them are stuck on part 1, some are part 2, some are part 3, 4, so on. So for your Jason, he doesn't run, but for this fan, his Jason does run. For this Jason, he looks like this. For that Jason, he looks like this. For this fan, he wants Jason to be the victim, and he wants Mrs. Voorhees to be the killer, and some twisted yada yada yada. For this fan, he's like, fuck the old lady, I want Jason only, and yada yada. So it's hard to please everybody, but I feel like if you add a respectful mix of the lore in itself, you could do something great. Yeah, they did stop showing the kills for The Walking Dead, and it sucked. Merry Christmas, Ray. Alien series TV show going to be good. Yeah, Glenn's death. Some people were like, that's too much. I'm like, that's not enough. Oh, you said Season of the Witch sucked, you said? I have not watched it yet. I will be checking it out, but I've not watched it. Am I a fan of Better Call Saul? I stopped watching only because I just couldn't get into the lawyer shit. I loved, and I mean loved, everything else. But Saul with his brother and the law firm type, I just could not give a shit. Outside of that, everything else I loved. I do got to catch up on the last 2 seasons, but I just don't like I don't know. I just don't dig it. Z Nation was a blend of comedy and serious topics, but with some random ass type environment. Z Nation definitely does have a more lighter popcorn feel to it. I just don't like it. Hey Ronnie, I'm not going to hang around for long. Just want to say you were streaming. Wanted to say Merry Christmas to you and Juliet. Hope it's as good as it can be this year. Thank you very much, Ryan. I appreciate that. And have a good holiday, you and your family as well. Sackhead Jason was better on Friday the 13th Part 2. See, here's the thing is, I like Sackhead Jason, but you got to do both. There's no way you can't do both. I mean, you can do just the mask, and I'll be real with you, but you can't do just the mask, just the bag head, unless you were going to really go out and do a whole first, reboot with just the bag head and his backstory, and then part 2 would have the mask itself. I honestly don't think the majority of the fandom would fucking care about that though, because you are doing only 2 movies or 3 movies even, and it's just too much. Giving him the mask by the end of the first one, if you want to have the mask for the majority of it, that could work. But again, Jason cannot die. Like, for example, someone asked me about Predator, and sometimes I think as a fan, and it's for any writers out there, it's a good creative exercise to find something that's already out there and come up with ideas for it. Write the characters, because if you can write characters that feel like it's authentic in the show, you're doing really well, because then you're picking up on the character development, what the character is about. You understand it, you know it, so it's good practice. Because a lot of people jump in projects and they just don't know dick. They don't absorb it. Sometimes they just don't care. I find the worst people are the people who get the job, not because they're the best person for the job, but because of friends or just connections. People make connections in Hollywood. And again, I don't want to keep bringing it up, but Rian Johnson, I loved his Looper, but he was one of the worst people you possibly could have chosen for Star Wars. And we know that for one simple reason. He didn't care what they were doing with the movies in the trilogy he was writing. He didn't stop. Like, if you said, hey, Ronnie, you got to write one of the 3 Star Wars movies, I'm getting with the other guys and I'm saying, all right, well, what's in 1 and what's in 3? Because I got to write 2 and I want to make sure that it flows. It's add what I want to add to it, but make sure for the audience and for the fandom. He didn't do that. He just went in there and he was like, I'm doing whatever the fuck I want. I mean, it's terrible. Fucking terrible. Everyone involved there, and it's crazy how you can just, when you're at a certain point, you can just fail upwards. Everyone involved in the modern day Star Wars should just be absolutely terminated from their job, like for Christmas, and then see ya, bitch, and then bring in new people. At least not the Mandalorian crew. They can stay there. Have I ever done a backflip on a trampoline? Jason had a sister on Jason Goes to Hell. Yes, I forgot about that. I didn't forget about that. That was part of the, I forgot to mention that. That was part of the homages that I was paying to the OG series. Like, when I wrote my script, I had watched the OG series a few times, most of them. For some reason, I watched a certain number of them repeatedly, but even in my script, his sister worked at a diner. I'm pretty sure his sister was like a waitress in Jason Goes to Hell too, but she worked in a diner, so I did keep those. I kept the sleeping bag kill, and which was funny because I wrote that scene like it was weird. I had seen the Friday the 13th. Forgot about the sleeping bag kill. Maybe I didn't even see that one yet. And I wrote a sleeping bag kill, and I was like, oh, this is, golden. And then when I rewatched them, I was like, oh my God, maybe I planted that in my subconscious, because he does kill someone with a sleeping bag, and it's an iconic kill. But in my version, because this is something I didn't like in the original, he picks her up by her head in the sleeping bag, and then he basically like smashes her legs and body off the tree. In the uncut version, in the deleted scene, it's like 7 times, several. And then in the theatrical, he only smacks her off at once. But then when he drops her body down, her head plops out and it's all bloody and stuff like that. In my Crystal Lake spec script, he does slam her off the tree a few times, but it shatters the bones in her legs. So then when he chucks her down this like little mini hill, she crawls out of the sleeping bag, and her legs are all, dust, dirt, and she's crying, crawling, and her heavy breathing, spitting that dirt everywhere, kind of make it cinematic where she crawls out of it. And then you close in on her legs, and you can see some bones sticking out of her legs as she crawls out. And then Jason's up on that little mini hill, and he's pulling these, I'm almost positive in my script, this is the same kill. He pulls the wrought iron, what are those called? Is it wrought iron? Rod iron, the poles, the posts, and he starts chucking them down like a lawn dart at her, and she ends up getting clobbered with one. But even in the script, I said it needs to penetrate her, but only go in like halfway. So it penetrates and kind of comes up a little, and then levels out, and then flops back down, kind of poking up out of her skin in her back. It was fucking wicked. But because some of that realism, I think, adds another level of gore that kind of just goes, oh man, Anyway, could Texas Chainsaw Massacre be done again and better? Would it be worth it for them to do it? Well, anything being brought back again. I used to be against the reboots and stuff, but at this point in time, there's no stopping them. So, bring it back. I don't know if you're ever going to capture the magic of the original, because again, that stuff is iconic. The sound of the cameras, and even if they redo it and it's gorgeous and sexy and they keep that suspense and tone and yada, 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 and it's amazing, it's the second time it's done. It's been done again. So no matter how amazing it is, it's not going to have that same charm as the first one. But I do think there's hope to actually do something good with that franchise, because what they've been doing with that franchise is terrible. Have you checked out Bryan Cranston's new show, Your Honor, yet? No, I have not. Is it good? I do not watch TikTok videos. Pamela Voorhees, she was the cook. Yeah, she was the cook. I'm not talking about Jason's sister being in the diner at Crystal Lake, though. Yeah, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about she's in a diner in town. Because I think in the was it? It wasn't at Crystal Lake, right? I don't know. But yeah, in my script, his sister works in town, and it's not his blood sister, by the way, in my script. In the hell in Jason Goes to Hell, it is blood sister. Hey, Angel Cisneros. I said that wrong. Cisneros, did I say that right? Merry Christmas, bruh. Thanks for the early presents, man. Doomsday Kingdom. I'm glad you got your copy of Doomsday Kingdom. Everyone so far has messaged me and said that their copy showed up and it was perfect, as opposed to the mailman beating the shit out of it. Some people sometimes get their copy and it's bent and crushed and destroyed. However, we haven't had one damaged copy yet. We've sent out 300, over 300. We haven't had one that got damaged. Not yet. Anyway. Well, I think John, Doomsday Kingdom Army, he had one that the mailman beat the shit out of it. I don't know why. So he got 2 little corners, got a little ding, but we're talking about a ding. But it still sucks. But yeah, his mailman was a dick. AHS used Camp Crystal Lake setup, kind of stole the idea in their last season. I did watch that. They didn't just steal their idea. They jacked all of it. They jacked their idea. They jacked other slasher ideas. But for Jason Voorhees and all that. They did even coming out of the water, you know, pulling the guy in the water. I thought that was enjoyable to watch as something to kill time, but I couldn't get behind the ghosts and living there and being stuck there. And I was in the mood for a slasher, and then I realized it's a comedy. I thought this whole time American Horror Story was like horror, you know, but it's what did I say before? It's really a comedy. It's like grounded SNL skits, you know, and it's crazy. It blew my fucking mind because I was honestly thinking it was horror, and I watched it. I'm like, wow, this is like, you know, comedy skits with grounded comedy skits, you know, and it's crazy. And again, some are more grounded than others, but yeah, they're just like skits. Merry Christmas from the UK. Well, Merry Christmas in America. Did you see the lost footage from Friday the 13th Part 2? I've seen the footage that's on the disc. Is that called the lost footage? Or is there something else? Whatever's on the disc, whatever comes with the movies, I've watched those. Not everything yet because I'm working up. I haven't had time to go through all the special features. But I've seen so many special features for all the Friday the 13th over the years. I lost track at what they're called. Even with Crystal Lake Memories and shit, I keep forgetting. Because I'm always putting one on being like, oh, I already seen this already. Old Horror Story was good. I went back and watched season 1 because the newer seasons were just so off, you know, and not what I expected, not off like bad. But I went back and watched the earlier seasons, and I was a bit surprised. Let's read this real quick, and we'll jump back to The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead is about to go where it's never gone before, says Scott Gimple. A comedic spin-off of the zombie drama in the works. Another spin-off of The Walking Dead is in the works, and this one's a comedy. After the flagship show established itself as a ratings winner, the caretakers of The Walking Dead universe first expanded and we're going to get some bullshit word salads just because they got to fill up space to get ads. But I never understood why. You got to fill space, but why don't you put shit in there that is of substance? Everyone just recaps. The Walking Dead that came out in 2010. It was a hit. AMC did this and they did this. It's like, bro, put something in there of value, man. Every time they just recap what The Walking Dead is. Anyhow. But 2 Walking Dead shows just weren't enough for folks at AMC, so more spin-offs are in the works. One of these spin-offs, The Walking Dead World Beyond, has indeed already completed its first season and helped set up the future of the Rick movies. After The Walking Dead Season 11 wraps up the main show's decade-plus long run, the beloved characters Carol and Daryl are more shit we already fucking know about. Now there's the news of yet another additional Walking Dead universe edition, and this one may be the strangest of all. Appearing on the recent Walking Dead Hollywood special, which saw cast and crew on the show coming together to celebrate Christmas, the Walking Dead universe overseer Scott Gimple revealed that a comedic spin on the zombie world is currently in the works via TB Web. We are working on a straight Walking Dead comedy right now, he announced. We're not making fun of our world. It's just more of a comedic take on the world. So again, it's Friday the 13th Part 6 where, not exactly, I'm just saying, they said you can add comedy, but don't make fun of Jason, you know, because that would fucking destroy it. If Jason came out, he's got a pink hockey mask or some random dumb shit, that would be terrible. But when it comes to keeping it grounded, this means essentially it's going to be, imagine the world that we know from The Walking Dead, from Fear the Walking Dead, from World Beyond. Pick that world, but we're probably going to follow some, just more chill, relaxed, funny, that type of character. Now, I feel like immediately like the stoner chill kind of vibe comes to mind as one of the first generic kind of picks they would go with. In 2020 2020 though. Well, this would be 2021, but in the current day, they have a checklist. So there's going to be female, there's going to be the gay character or lesbian character. You're going to have, everyone's going to be a different race. So they're going to have those checklists. So I'm not really sure what they're going to bring on, like as opposed to bringing on like 2 hippie stoners or something. Like they wouldn't do that. But just to give you an idea of what direction it could likely go, pick the people that are comedic and the world is still serious. Again, that could work, but I just don't trust them. I believe this is the same as all other Hollywood franchises that are hot and on fire and they start going down. Instead of someone stepping up and going, all right, well, where did we go wrong? Oh, that's okay. We're not, sticking with the passion of the core fan base of the zombie show, because we're bringing on people who aren't even zombie fans and don't know dick about zombie content. And they're saying, let's just run with this. Let's tell these stories. Let's tell this coming of age fucking story, Instead, they're going to bring people on to do a type of gimmick. Oh, guys, it's The Walking Dead, but this is funny now. I just see this falling flat on its face. I hope I'm wrong, though. I really hope I'm wrong. Yeah, that's the thing. We do have some comedic characters in the world, like Negan, Eugene, even Abraham had some funny shit. I mean, Glenn even had some funny shit. There was light moments in it too. Glenn was real funny early on, just with his, just that real type of humor, Anyhow, making it just a comedy show, I just don't see it happening. I don't think they say anything else. Gimple makes it clear that the show won't parody the universe. Again, it's Friday the 13th Part 6. You can add comedy, but don't make fun of Jason. You can add comedy, but don't make fun of the zombies. Don't make fun of this world. But will rather present a new take on the world that skews towards the comedic. All right, so we're going to have a band of comedic characters up in this bitch. And again, the only reason why I bring up them checking off some boxes when it comes to the casting and writing and stuff like that. Let's say somebody had this great idea for just 2 stoner dudes and they were going to bring them on and do that. That wouldn't never get made, because they'll come on and they'll be like, oh, well, that's not the right person we want to do. We want this type of person. No, we want this. It's just going to get all jumbled and mixed, because nowadays you can't just say I have this good story and come out with it. That story also has to fit a certain criteria. I don't know. I hope it's good, but I'll be real with you. Right now, I don't see that working out. Jason on Ice would be this skates. That's why you support DK early. Got my copy over a month ago. Hell yeah, Afrophonics. I appreciate that. Well, some people who got the sketches and the OG art, they had to wait a little longer just because the art was coming from the UK. But I did sign the OG art, and we are putting up a few more pages for sale. We're waiting for you guys to read it, though, and then we'll show off the artwork. I do want to make a little promo image of one of the characters we got, because the preview for issue 6 highlights a new, cool, it's newish type of character. And I'm fucking hyped. I want to make that into a figure, into a statue. That shit is fire. Would you like a Jason kill involving a hockey stick and a puck? I personally don't really care if it's related to hockey. Merry Christmas, Joshua. Merry Christmas, white boy. Did you see the lost footage from the... Alright, it's ridiculous. Old horror story was good. Is the new Halloween still happening? It's the final Halloween, I think they call it. It's Halloween Kills and then Halloween Ends. I believe Halloween Kills is 2021, October, man, they should just release that. It doesn't have to be in fucking October. I get why they do it, though. And then Halloween Ends is supposed to be 2022, but we'll see. Do you think we're still getting 2,000 or 600 if it's not enough? Well, I believe they voted down against the 2,000. Some Republican fucking shitheads. I'm not going to get into politics, but I think the Democrat leaders currently all suck ass, like ass juice. And I think that Republican leaders currently all suck some ass juice. So I say fuck them all. You know, they're all millionaires and they're all saying, yeah, we'll give them some money. And I don't want to hear any one of you say, no, but the Republicans, or no, but the Democrats. They're all fucking pieces of shit. Let's be straight. Let's be real with each other. They're all pieces of shit. Only some of them do some good things every now and then. I'm not going to pretend like, you know, both parties all do great things. No. The majority of them are swamp ass. I mean, let's be real. That's all it is. It's pronounced Cisneros. Cisneros? I never would have got that probably. Don't worry, most people butcher it anyways. I always try to read it too fast. Cisneros. Oh, I could see that. Yeah, Cisneros. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. Abraham was funny as fuck. Yeah, he had some good stuff. Merle Dixon was funny. Yeah, but it's like that real guy funny. Like Glenn early on was real guy funny. Why was that a blue dot or blue arrow? It's usually when it's new stuff. Glenn early on was real guy funny. Like, what was the one part where they wanted him to do something and Glenn's all like, well, who's going to do that? And they looked over at him and he's like, oh, come on. You know, it's like those little, or he said, Daryl says, you're pretty good for a Chinaman. He's like, I'm Korean, whatever. You know, that's funny stuff, but it's grounded, you know, in the real. In this one, we're going to have characters that are more like, I don't want to say Negan because it's not Negan, but it is more like Negan where they're a little more relaxed and they joke things off and they, you know, more of the Negan type, more of the Eugene type where it is kind of silly and out there. And it's the only way to do it, keeping it comedic. I think if they were going about that way to do it, I mean, listen, if they bring in the right people, you could make the bomb ass fucking, you know, comedic Walking Dead. And I would, off the top of my head, I would probably model it after stoners. I'll be real with you. People who just want a little bit of land to grow their weed and that's it. They got their little, you know, settlement, a small, tiny, their little trusted crew. They're growing some pot and yada, yada, yada. And then kick off the story from there. You know, they got a system to deal with the zombies, you know, and I can already picture it now. Lovable characters, it's fun, but it still has that grit. I mean, it's at a point where it is so fun, yet you pull back and put them in those moments where your mind is blown because you expected to jump in, have that episode you enjoy, you know, get some creepy moments, some suspenseful, some tension, but this goes all the way to, they dial it up. Sometimes it works better that way because you're expecting this, you know, and then you get it dialed up to 10, but the trick is to bring it back down. You don't want to leave it dialed at 10. And I'm talking about on the suspense and tension. You don't want to leave it on that and then cliffhanger them. With a more serious show, you can do that probably all the time. But with something that's a little more comedic, you got to dial it back before you cut it off. It just doesn't flow the other way around. It just doesn't. Because again, it breaks that. It's like a genre breaker at that point. But I could picture it working. However, I don't have enough confidence in AMC or Hollywood or whoever they're bringing on. I think they're probably going to bring on people they know in the industry that just want the job, the notoriety. And again, these are people that it's not like they hate zombies and they fake it to make it, you know. It's people that probably, I don't, you know, oh, sure, I like zombies just because they never disliked them. It's, you know, oh, zombies, yeah, they're fine, you know. They bring people like that on, they get it done, and it's just dog shit, you know. Fuck them all. Aim into that. Boba Fett and Mando team up scene was pretty badass. Listen, I'm not gonna lie. If you guys want to go and watch the Critical Drinker or Drunkard, I think it's a Critical Drinker. His review when he got to the Fett scene, I was dying because I thought the same shit. When and from this point on, we're gonna have a few spoilers for The Mandalorian, just because this is stuff that's out there so heavily. If you're on the internet, you had it spoiled. I had everything spoiled for me pretty much. I still ended up liking it, but when Boba Fett was there, I was like, I was fucking dying because he's so fat popping out of his suit. I'm like, bro, how the fuck did they put you in front of a camera looking like that, bro? How did they not get a body double? Or here's an idea, bigger armor. I don't know why. I get they probably were like doing that on purpose because, you know, he's aged, he's put on some weight, but it just looked ridiculous. He looked like your embarrassing cosplaying dad just showed up, and he was kicking ass, and it was like a scene, but there was like a moment where he stomps on someone and he's got like this big old, it's like the helmet, the shoulder pads, and then this big old belly just coming out, bam. And it's not huge, he's not like obese or nothing, but it comes out, you know? And I was fucking dying. And then when I watched the Critical Drinkers review, he brought it up too. And I was like, I knew I wasn't the only one who noticed that, because his belly and gut was like, bam, you know? Fucking fat ass. Hey, I ain't mad at you, bro. I haven't worked out in 7 years. I've gained some weight. I don't know. I was going to say I call myself fat all the time, but that would be a lie. But I'm definitely heavier than I used to be. Because I used to be a twig. I used to be like 135 pounds. Fucking worked out every day, like 6 hours a day. Either lifting weights or doing cardio, doing martial arts, nunchucks, playing basketball. But then I had my kid and I chilled out with that shit. But yeah, I want to work out in 2021 though. I think it'll be interesting because now I put on a lot of weight, so I'm gonna hit some weights. Jeez, that amoxicillin fucked me up, yo. Walking Dead, Colorado. Whatever happened to all the marijuana that grew at Negan's headquarters? Apparently, it was just a fun little scene they put in there, and then they were like, let's not follow up with that. Carol made pop brownies with him. Daryl's sex quote, hello to Jello, please. Yeah. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Sandy. I hope you have a good holiday and New Year. Abraham was the goat of zombie comedy. Yeah. Someone raids them for their weed. Yeah, they could go with that. Someone raids them for their weed. I mean, it would be interesting to show them. All right, picture this. You come in, you go, all right, Ronnie, pitch us like a little mini whatever. As a fan, what would be off the top of your head? I personally would like a little bit of time to really think about it and then come up with something really good. But here's a little idea. Do the stoner angle. They're growing some weed. We see their kind of livelihood, how that's all set up and yada, yada, yada. But more of a slow burn where we see them actually harvest and they got some weed drying out. They're curing it. It's what it's called. And they package it up. And then here they're taking it to buyers. So we see them on the road with their product, and it's kind of a new neat look because now we're seeing a business, you know, it's a drug business, but we're seeing a business in the apocalypse. They're on certain roads, and it's kind of like watching an old I don't know, medieval, you know, story where people are traveling on certain roads and it gets kind of dangerous. You got bandits out there, you got zombies out there, you got, you know, the wildlife out there. So they're on their dangerous journey. They get to a certain settlement where they're trading with people. It seems like it's all friendly, and on their way back, someone from the settlement that they traded with, let's say they traded weed and then they got gold and some equipment, some, you know, an even barter. Anyhow, so they dropped the weed off. However, somebody from orders from the leader of that settlement sent out a little group to do recon to follow them back home. So then they make their trip back home, but we see that they're not totally stupid. They try to lose anyone that might be following them. However, it doesn't end up working, and they follow them back. And this is where you can integrate a little bit of, and I want to be careful when I say it because I don't mean it to be as serious as it is, but a little bit of a Game of Thrones kind of vibe in there where you get people vying for power. So again, you have these settlements, you got the grow operation there, and then you got the community where the leader wants to follow them, but do it smart too. They don't want to just go in and destroy the whole lot. They want to go in and they want to kill everyone there. However, take it over, put their own people there. That way, they're growing their own weed. They're doing this own setup. And now you can break off with a little more of an interesting story. I don't know if you want to have them try to take it over and you have learn how to grow the weed, so they have to teach them. So, but again, you need to build off that. That's literally just like the pilot. So setting up the pilot or the first 40 minutes, but you would need some type of hook in there as well. So that would be maybe a little bit of, the world that it's in. However, you need some kind of hook. I would need time to really think of something. But Dylan, off the bed, Ronnie, love your content. Thanks for reading questions with no dono. I appreciate it, bro. Merry Christmas and have a good night, boss man. Thank you very much, Dylan. Have a good Christmas and Happy New Year if I don't hear from you. Until then. Normac the Hooligan. Dude, that's dope AF. I'd watch that, but they're all stoned AF. Yeah, they got to be high, especially, and you got to mix it up too. They're stoned as shit, they're high and stoned, but you got to put in a serious element. So you have the one person there that is super stuck up, and he could be someone that doesn't even normally would never even hang out with them. However, because it's the apocalypse, it was like randomly they got connected together. They survived together. So you have like that odd couple vibe where you get the two stoner friends. Could be 2 or 3 real close friends. I'd prefer 3 because one of them would die really early on to kind of set the stakes. However, you'd have another person there that is just straight stick up his ass. But again, that adds to the comedic value too because of the odd couple effect, the bickering back and forth. Did you also yell out WTF when the pirate kicked Baby Yoda in that monster's mouth? Laugh out loud. You know what? I did. I was like, the whole time I'm thinking, all right, there's no way these people are going to betray him because this is so fucking painfully obvious. I'm getting upset with the Mandalorian for falling for this bullshit. I mean, it was so obvious. I was like, there's no way, because sloppy writing goes like this. If it's so obvious, chances are it's not it. Not all the time, but a lot of the times you'll see characters lower their guard, but that's because the writer knows that these aren't enemies. So they do really stupid shit, but it's because the writer knows the person is not an enemy. However, in this situation, it was like you saw it coming a mile away, and then they have the Mandalorian get in trouble just for the females to come and save him. And I laughed at that one part too, because in the end they pulled the Avengers shit where if you watch the Avengers, there's a moment where all the women line up and it's like they got Thanos's, I don't know, glove with the diamonds in it, the gems, and the stones. And so Captain America or Captain Marvel's holding it, and the women all line up. They're like, not if we work together type shit. But in The Mandalorian, there's a guy in the group. And the critical thinker is right. The guy is not there at the end. It's an all-female group. I think the one guy is riding on a ship. One of the main guys in a ship, if I remember right. But it's all the females down there, and they're kicking ass. And it's the same shit. You can see that people with passion are writing the story, and then there's some idiot producer like, okay, you're having this final battle, but it's all got to be females. It's like, can we just tell the story? I mean, you got a nice mix. You don't have to have only females show up because the audience isn't stupid. They know what you're doing, Luckily, they made it work. Normac the hooligan guy doesn't smoke weed, but he's still there. Yeah, because he survived with them early on. So why would he, even though they don't get along in that sense? The stoners aren't bad guys. They don't hurt people. They're nice. They don't, they're reliable people. But it's the different lifestyles. Like this guy doesn't smoke. This guy's really neat. The stoners are kind of like lax with it, they're relaxed with their schedule, and this guy is like, you need to leave right now to get there, you need to make extra time, so yeah, yada yada yada. When you go on the road, when you come home, make sure you're going through different roads to lose anyone who's trailing you, like that type of stuff. But he doesn't have to be military. I wouldn't want him to be military. I would prefer him to be like regular, like a teacher or some shit, like a history teacher. But I wouldn't want him to be military. Military puts it too much. We could have a military character in there. But I think the reason I wouldn't want him to be military is just for that dynamic to work. I'm not really sure if it should be someone with so much more authority, because I feel like if it's military, he would have an overabundance of authority when it kind of is like an equal partnership. It could be something where you could make it work with the authority figure there, military guy, real stuck up, yada yada yada. But I'm not sure. I think maybe it would work if we had a military character there, but maybe he was like not military, but one of those guys who dresses, acts, buys stuff like he's military. A likable guy, but someone who goes overboard, was never in war, but talks like he was. But don't go, what's that movie with the dude? The guy's always talking about Vietnam. Don't go like John Goodman that far out, but do something where you got a military guy there. He's military-like, but he's not actually military. Something like that could work. Like Bert from Tremors, He's got all these guns and all. He's got like a military style about him, but he might have been military. I don't know. I got the feeling he was like into military, No, me and Trev don't have a collab anytime soon. No. Apparently he's not checking his Twitter. I was going to holler at him about something, but he didn't answer me. I'll hit him up after the holidays. If Ezekiel has cancer, why don't he smoke weed on the show as medicine? I'm not really sure. I think Hollywood's just stupid. What do you think about Rick Grimes will be back in season 11? There's a part of me that feels they may try to do something to get him back just because it's ending. But then there's another part of me that thinks if he comes back, I don't think they can do the Daryl and Carol spinoffs, because that would mean he comes back and Daryl's like, oh my God, my best friend. Okay, bro, peace, Because the only way Daryl and Carol spinoff works is if everyone is dead and they're gone. They're the last ones standing, so they leave. Or if the new settlement succeeds and they grow like the old world in this new world, and it's everything that Daryl never fit into in the past, and for whatever reason he wants to go on the road, and that way if Rick was there he can still be but that means every time you have any show that is in and around that area, you would need to show some of those bigger characters. Like Maggie would be there, Rick would be there. And again, how do they want to end Rick's story? Because now if you bring him back and you have him there, then when you go and do the his movie series, how would that work now? How do you close out his story? So there's a part of me that says it's the final thing. Rick should be there for the final season. But then there's another part of me that says it messes with his movies. It messes with the spinoff, unless there's a way they can do it all and make it work seamless. And I just don't know if that's possible. Yeah, like a Doomsday Prepper, that could work. Yeah, Andrew Lincoln's playing the Scrooge. dude, this is dope, is creating a new Walking Dead stoner show together. Hell yeah, right there, AMC, we're creating something for you. And again, for a comedy, it would be interesting to get more lighthearted characters and put them in that world, because keep in mind, our world can get real shitty often, and we've had comedians for a long time, even before they were doing stand-up comedy, like jesters. Weren't they basically comedians? Was it jesters or whatever? They bring people in front of the royal family and make them laugh, or not just royals, but anyone rich and whatever. They bring entertainers in front of them. They sing, they play instruments, they do magic shows, do magic tricks, they do stuff to make them laugh. So we've always had comedic breaks in between our serious reality, and that's what it should be when they do a Walking Dead comedy show. But again, I'm afraid they're going to go too far in the direction and bring people on who aren't about zombie first. I really feel like for the Walking Dead to continue and succeed as a franchise, you need to be zombie first, even if the zombies in the background, as long as the story is zombie first. Like, you can do so many different shows, and you don't have to have 30,000 zombies, hordes coming through. You know what I mean? You don't have to have that for zombies to be first in the show. But there's clever ways to do it, where they prop up everything, because every action they take is because there's zombies out there. Like, they have their weed farm now. They got their weed farm, and what did they have to stop? Zombie hordes from stomping right through their weed farm. You know what I'm saying? Because you get a giant horde and they come through, they're taking it out. So they got to build some type of wall barrier. So if hordes come from this direction, they hit that wall barrier and they tunnel this way. So they can do kind of like dig out like a skate ramp, and then the opposite wall would be lined with rocks and maybe fences there. So that way when the zombies come, it's kind of like a dead end, and that keeps their grow area. So they would have to come up with stuff like that. But again, that's just like another little thing that you can pick out of what could they do, but still keep that comedic side. But they're still dealing with that serious shit going on. What's the most expensive present you got, Juju, for Xmas? I got my daughter a Nintendo Switch. I think that might be tricky because I split hers up. I think her vanity would probably be the top. Let me think. Yeah, she didn't get, like, it wasn't easy. It wasn't like, she was going to get a PlayStation VR this year, but if anyone was paying attention, I got a PSVR from someone in the Matt family, Princess Pie, tongue twister. And again, thank you very much. That was massive because in a way, me and Juliet both got a PSVR. So, that was going to be her big gift for Christmas this year. But since I got that, Juliet was like, nope, I'm borrowing yours. Don't even think about it. Because she knew I was... Anyhow. So I split hers down now. She has one of those grow-ups. I don't know. Little fucking... what are they called? Baby alives? They like actually poop and pee and shit like that. But they grow up sort of like an infant. And then you stretch their arms out, I guess. You put hair on them. So I split it down and got her to grow ups, got her whole set. Oh, I got to wrap that walker. She's a little walker. Take them for walks, but her vanity. It's a real nice vanity, too. It's got the mirror. I'm going to put lights on it, but this one didn't come with lights. I looked at one that came with lights, but it looked kind of cheap. So I wanted to get one without lights and then put lights on it. But it's a real nice vanity that I got on sale. And I opened it up to make sure 100% that nothing's destroyed. Because that's the worst thing. If you get something that you need to put together, Christmas comes and then you put it together and it's missing parts or it's broken. But it's nice and it's thick wood too. And it's actual wood. It's not like that cheap bullshit. And it's got two nice drawers you pull out on top. I think it's got another big drawer on the bottom. And it comes with this little bench. It has a nice seat top on it. I think she'll really go nuts for that. She's been wanting one. But I got her lights too to put up in the room, but not on the vanity. I want to wait and see what she says and get her specific lights for the vanity. That because I got her a little LED one she could put in her room. She really loves having lighting set up, and I want to pick one out, but I want her opinion because I think a vanity should have some daylight type lights or some bright lights to really, not something that you want to go for like colorful trim, some kind of display. You want actual lights to shine and see what you're doing when you're, because she loves getting into doing makeup designs. Like she does these weird, I don't know what it's called, but she'll do like this weird shit with her eye. Women do it all the time. I don't know what it's called, but you got designs with the eyeliner. Is that what it is? Simon was funny. Do you think the extended number of episodes will result in a decrease in quality for season 11? If it was split up, I would say no. But if I remember right, it's not being split up, is it? Or is it? I forget now. No, I think it is being split up. So even though it's more episodes, I think they're filming some for one season. Like season 11 is going to be cut in half. I don't know, but yeah, if they do it all in one go, I think it's going to hurt the quality for sure. I think the budget, I would not be surprised if they extended the season and they kept the budget from previous seasons. That would not surprise me at all. Desperation is the only thing I'm feeling from The Walking Dead. It's like they'll do anything they can to get views except increasing the budget. Yeah, that shit's crazy. Oh, someone keeps saying, or I shouldn't say someone, but a lot of people keep saying the budget has nothing to do with what's going on. And I was watching something, and it was the perfect example of why the budget is absolutely necessary. You can make a great low budget show, but when the story calls for something specific, there's nothing you can do. If you don't have that budget, it will underperform. You will not get there. Same thing for The Walking Dead. Like when it gets to those moments where you run into a real big villain or a real big horde, you're at a moment where you need that budget or it's not going to work, because it's either going to look like shit and give you the amount of zombies you need, or you can't, because you don't have the budget, you can't show what you need to show to immerse the viewer in the world that you were trying to immerse them in with that type of presence. Merry Christmas, Different Worlds. Yo, what's up, Ronnie? Isn't it wild that Christmas is already upon us again? Yo, I think it's crazy. I am actually really disappointed in I'll be real, which is in the content that I put out this year. I know I pulled away a lot because when I moved in the beginning of 2020, we moved into this apartment. It's tiny, and it was to save money. And I was really trying to see on what state, because I wanted to move to a different state that has the best fall. That's all I'm looking for. What has the best fall? And maybe we get some snow, around Christmas time. I don't know. But not a lot of snow, but the best fall, period. Anyway, and then 2020 came and COVID took me out of my job in, what was it, April, I think? And that was a job I was just going to start that was really good paying. And it just took it right out. So I moved here to save money. That happened. COVID was a bitch all year. So then when it got to the end of the year, I'm focusing on what I want to do for 2021. We got the comic and we got some big projects that it's going to need some backing, some financial backing, but it's also going to need to be worked on. And I was thinking about the channel, and the channel is an extension of what I'm doing because the comic is under the banner Make a Path Presents. That's the company, and the projects, like the videos and the comic, that falls under it. So I'm like, well, what do I, because I don't want to just walk away from creating content. So then I thought about going into 2021, I made up my mind, we're going to pull back from what we've been doing, and we're going to go ahead and stick with Flaw in All Review. and put those out. I mean, we're going to pull back some of the stuff I normally cover, but we're going to be putting out more of the flaw, and that's 2021's plan, not 2020. But I did take like a month off to kind of really think about it. And I did look back and I was like, you know what? I should have had more of them done. I should have had more. I know I made excuses too, and they were legit excuses because you got to pay the bills, you got to go and work and yada, yada, yada. But there's times where I should have gotten home, just ate something, and then just got right to work on the computer. Because there were some times where, you know, you work all day, you come home and you hang out with Juliet for a bit, and then let's say you got like 4 hours to kill. And I might end up doing something like fiddling with something or cleaning up or rearranging and yada, yada, yada. Next thing you know, you only got an hour, 45 minutes until bedtime. And you're like, by the time I get ready for bed, brush my teeth, I'll work on the video tomorrow. But yeah, so I was real disappointed. So I think 2021 is going to be real different, or at least I would like it to be. So in the beginning, I'm making a 3-month plan to go hard for the flaw and Oz, and then I'll recalibrate after 3 months and see where we're at. If it's doing good, maybe we'll stick with that as a main series and see what you guys want to do with. And if it's not doing so hot, I don't know. Maybe I'll get with you guys and see what works the best. But I love those. I love those videos. I love those videos, man. I fucking love making them. But I'm telling you, maybe it's just me, you know, being shit at managing time, or I don't know. I feel like I'm zipping through them, but they take a long time to edit. I mean, a fucking long time. A part of that could be my fault because I'm looking for clips to add. I'm going and pulling different things. I'm researching different stuff. So you'll see in 2021 with the new flaw and all, starting with Friday the 13th, you'll see I do trim some things a bit. And as far as my process, we'll see how that goes. And then down the line, we'll see if we can add more. I think it's best to just at least get them done so they're not so overwhelming. Because right now, the way they are, I want to do one a week. Right now, in order to get it done, it's like one a month. Just the amount of time needed for one, it's an estimate one a month. And that's with, you know, going through the behind the scenes, doing some research on the creators and the people that did it and yada. And that's looking for those diamonds in the rough to talk about when you're breaking the movie down. If you want to get a better understanding, watch my Joker. That one is probably one of my longer ones, but I go in depth on a lot of different scenes and meanings and yada, yada, yada. But some of that doesn't always need to be there. So I am going to trim that down a bit. We're going to just focus on what's good and bad. And if there's any extras that I want to discuss, maybe we'll all do that on a different kind of video essay. You know, I think that'll work. And another thing too is that always trips me up is I say I want to focus on this, and then next thing you know, I'm like, you know what? I want to make this video talk about something came in the mail. Oh, NECA sent me Toka and Razar. They were Ninja Turtles Part 2. And I was going to do a video on them. But then I told myself, I'm like, no, fuck, don't. Everyone's going to do a video on them. Stick with the flaw in all reviews. So that's what I did. I'm like, fuck it. But I got Ghostface, the NECA Ghostface. It's the guy from Scream, the killer from Scream. They didn't have the rights to do Scream. So I got that in the mail on the way. And I was going to review that. But again, I'm telling myself, don't. Just fucking do a yada, yada, yada. But people keep asking me for a little room tour. And I did clean up when I was shipping some mail, past 3 days. So I might go around the room. But again, though, I moved. So a lot of stuff is just kind of on the shelves. I'm not fully packed. Like all my artwork is packed away for the most part. But maybe we'll go around the room for like a New Year's Eve video. I heard season 11 is going to be split into 3 parts. Episode 8. I did not hear that. If I remember right, I heard 2, but again, I've been out of it when it comes to The Walking Dead, so that could be right, but I heard there's 2. There's 2. It's being split in 2. I got a funny feeling when they go to the Commonwealth, it's going to be a lot of Hollywood actors there on The Walking Dead. I'll give you this warning right now. There's been a lot of people in Hollywood that wanted to get into The Walking Dead as a zombie or, whatever. And being it's the last season, I feel like you're going to see a flood of cameos, whether it's walkers or side gigs. Last chance for, some Hollywood fans to get in there because their friends work on the show. So I agree with you. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a chunk of them. Yo, what's up, Ronnie? Isn't it wild? Oh, yeah, I already read that one. Do you think we'll get to see where they, them twins come from and that woman? What are you talking about? Do you think we'll get to see where they, them twins come from and that woman? I don't know what you're talking about, bro. Maybe if they did a similar tone to the Showtime show Weeds. I don't think I watched that one. I got a funny feeling when they go to Commonwealth. I already did that. My 9-year-old asked for a very black medium marker. The new slippers, laugh out loud, we got him a trampoline. Before judgment, he has autism with a very high IQ. Oh, gotcha. A trampoline is something I was considering for Juliet. Even for me, go out there and we'll, jump around on a trampoline. It's probably something I'm going to get as like when she finishes 5th grade, I'm almost definitely going to get her a trampoline for that. I think that'd be good because it gets her out of the house. She can do something, it's cardio workout. I think trampolines are great. Plus my out of shape fat ass needs to get on one too and work out to some degree. You ever watch Pennyworth? No. You ever got a do, man? Don't apologize. Yeah, I'm just explaining it. And again, too, some of that is, I know most of you guys are like, nah, it's cool. Do it. Because it is do what you got to do. Because it's either that or I have to shut the channel down 100%. Because you can't pay rent, And it's like, so most of y'all get it, However, at the end of the day, that doesn't change the fact that I want to put out more, and I need to focus. I gotta, because in 2020, I did a lot of scattershot with my focus, and I knew it was going to happen because in 2019, I did that too, where I was all over the place. We're doing some gaming this week. We're doing this week. We're, doing Walking Dead, bouncing over here. And I got to just go flaunt our reviews, Doomsday Kingdom for the first 3 months of 2021. For me and you guys, I got to do it because for me, I think it's better. Just nail it down. If there's any videos I would like to do after, or if there's like easy ones that we need to discuss, maybe I'll let them slip it in. Wow, that sounded terrible. I won't let them slip it in. No, wow. What do you think the reason is we haven't seen Lucille since season 8? It just seems so easy to write it back into the story, and I'm just wondering if I'm missing something. I don't know what they've got planned either. I don't know, but I do agree it should have came back around. Maybe there wasn't a clean way in their eyes for them to do it, because think about the way we had the story play out. They would have had to stop what they were doing and go and get Lucille, because Negan didn't really connect with them until after the communities were attacked, So Lucille, in my head, she is, unless it's true, they left Lucille outside, which I don't believe that. In my head, and that sucks too, because we saw someone else carrying Lucille around. I thought that was an interesting dynamic for Negan as a character, but in my head, they have Lucille at Alexandria. But since it was, there was no time to write it in. But maybe we'll see it in 11. But at this point, Negan his arc has came around in such a way where Lucille is almost not even worth it, to do on the show. Ronnie and the Matt Mob, here's to a better 2021. Hell yeah. We need it. We need it. I get it, bro. Enjoy your time. I did. I did enjoy my time. I think 2021, we need to get some more work, though. Adding to all of that, you're a single parent in Juliet's school homework. She probably had to do the virtual schooling. She did. It's okay. Many are on the same boat. Yeah, I think a lot of you understand, too, because it is it is hard juggling all that. And especially Virtue School is hard too as well, because just you got to be a warden, because you got to okay, Juliet's at school. When she's in school, the teachers got her, and they're hopefully giving her an education. But then when she's home, she's on the computer. It's like you got to peek your head every 10 minutes, because she could be like, I'm taking a nap. Fuck it, And she's tried that a few times. Or I'm going upstairs and I'm going outside and you know what I mean? It's like, or she's watching TikTok, or, I always catch her doing something. I'm like, stop it, But you got to be a warden. All right, Ronnie, what are your thoughts on The Last of Us 2 winning everything at the Game Awards? Merry Christmas. Hope you had a great 2021. Well, I don't know. I think it's rigged as fuck. I do think The Last of Us should have taken a lot of awards, because their sound was great, their visuals were great. Even the voice acting was really good, if I remember right. A lot of it was really good. The narrative was, the biggest problem, I think. But again, I'm pretty sure. I know there's a number of different Game Awards, but I'm pretty sure the Game Awards are picked by journalists, and we know who they're gonna go with. It's kind of like a club at this point. So if that's the case, yeah, I'm sorry to say it, but you got a lesbian lead. They're not gonna vote against the lesbian lead. There's no way. You know what I mean? There's no way. Hey Ronnie, what are your thoughts? Oh, never mind. You seen the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic book, The Last Ronin? 3 turtles are dead but one. No, I haven't seen any of the. Every time I hear a cool story from the comic, there's always like, I don't know, it's like all over the place. There's like, here's one here, here's one here, here's one here. I remember there was one with Casey Jones a while back, and I don't know if I care to hunt down which ones are a long-running story, which ones are short stories, one-offs. I don't know. I just don't care to do it. When it comes to a comic. With a movie, it's easy. Pop in the movie, done. But with comics, you can put them out to such a degree that you got to look them up, figure them out, hunt them down. I don't got time for that. If the story is really good, I might check it out. But if it's just decent, like if it's only good because there's 3 of them dead and that's like kind of shocking, I'll skip. But if the story is good, I might take a peek. The budget is way too low, but they're still wasted on things we don't need, like the satellite crash, Washington, D.C., snow for 1 episode. Yeah, that's the thing that blows my mind. The satellite crash, why the fuck was that in there? We know why it was in there, because I put it in my flaw in all review. The satellite crash was just for 2 things. The boundary, and and that did another meetup with Alpha, and the radio, to extend the signal on the radio. That was it. So what they say is, okay, we need to extend the signal, and we need something to make them meet up with Alpha again. Okay, well, since it's a first episode, we need fire and stunts and yada yada. All right, satellite falls. We're going to do this cool thing where we switch the timeline around in the first episode. At the end of the day, it looks like someone who's trying to trick us into enjoying something that doesn't have as much substance as it probably should, as opposed to an episode that organically draws you in, blows you, and leaves you satisfied and hugs you at the end of it, and that's what the pilot episode, no matter what mood I'm in, I can go back to that pilot episode, and it's just fantastic. It's just fantastic, anyway. The people who Maggie went with is the girls he is talking about. Oh, those girls. Okay. I think with the Maggie stuff, we'll get the twins. We'll get more from them, about them, or hear about them. Happy to hear about more Flaw and Oz. Yeah, I'm pretty much dead set on those. I don't know, because keep in mind, the end of this month is shoddy. We are producing Doomsday Kingdom issue 6, which issue 5. Oh man, anyone in the chat read it? The volume? Anyone in the chat read the volume? The preview pages to issue 6. I'm just going to tease it. If you haven't read it, close your ears right now, but I have to tease one thing. It's only going to take about a minute, so pause it right now. Here's your spoiler warning. In Doomsday Kingdom in issue 1, you see the rider has a half mask, and you see the skull men. They don't have a name right now, but they wear skulls, half masks, and you see guardians that wear full masks. But throughout the story, in the future, you see people always wear a half mask. Well, in the preview to issue 6, we see 2 characters. One is Crow, hidden in shadows. You don't ever see her. That's the Native American character I was real excited about. And then there's another character I'm also really excited about. It's I'll leave that spoiler free, but that one's a fucking epic one. And so I love the way he talks too, because he gets off the horse and he's like, and this is a little shout to Last of Us in the dialogue, just a little homage, but he says, careful, there's a few creeps there. They look grounded. Hold up. I wrote it and I don't remember the fucking... Yeah, that shit is fire. Alright, so he gets off the horse, and I wanted to read it, because I rewrote the line a few times, so I wanted to make sure I had it, how it finally came out. Yeah, we have some grounded creeps. They look heaven sent, but just be cautious. And I love that. I put grounded in there. Two reasons. One, the creeps, which are the zombies, they're on the ground. They're totally dead. They were killed in issue 1. And another reason I kept it as grounded is because there was a grounded mode for The Last of Us. So that was like a little, paying a little respect, I don't know, in a weird way that I sometimes do. But anyhow, I just love the way he talks here. And he says, "You got any fumes? I'm faded." And again, I love that shit too, because it's slang for this time period where they're at. But it's also cluing us into something. So he takes his mask off. And Crow says, "Here it's fresh." And he says, she says, "Something doesn't feel right. The tracks lead here, his tracks." And the other character takes his mask and he takes the fumes that they're called and he puts it. It's a packet that goes inside the mask. The idea here is, no, it's not COVID-19. The mask, if you go back in Doomsday Kingdom, the half masks were in there 4 years before COVID. And I'm talking they were there 10 years before COVID in my script. But we put the comic out in 2016, or we put the preview out. We put issue 1 out in 2017, and we already set this up in 2017. This isn't anything new, and it has nothing to do with COVID. That's kind of creepy where COVID came up when we got the masks on, because in Doomsday Kingdom, they wear half masks. There's a couple of reasons. One of them is, in a way, for... not spreading stuff. But another one of the main reasons is because they put scents in their masks. And the scent keeps them from passing out or throwing up, getting sick, fainting, shit like that. Getting nauseous because the smell is so bad. The smell of the zombies and the rot is so bad, they get wiped out, There's 2 things that led me to that, and that's one thing that I fucking love, because as a zombie fan, we don't ever get that. We get people going, "Ooh, they're gross, they smell gross," and then it's forgotten about. But in Doomsday Kingdom, they all wear these half masks, and they've invented and created these scent packets to put in the mask to smell that perfume instead of smelling the nasty shit. And if you go and watch Jaws was part of a inspiration for this scene. I knew I wanted something. I knew I wanted something for the smell, because when I was in high school, I read about the olden days in London where the streets smelled so bad that rich people would smell perfume that they used to hang from around their neck. And some women would pass out because it smelled that bad. It was so fucking rank. People rotting in alleyways and dying. People throwing shit out their window and yada, yada, yada. There was no plumbing then. Not what we have in modern day. Anyway, So that idea stuck with me. So I always knew if I wrote a zombie story, I wanted the smell to be something that affected them, that affected their lives in a strong way, not just, ew, that's stinky, that's gross. I wanted it to be like, some of this smells so bad, it'll knock you the fuck out. Like, that's dangerous, you know? And I was watching Jaws. It was on Thanksgiving, and Jaws was on TV all the time. And this is going back a long time ago. And I had this idea from high school. I wanted to incorporate it. And back then I was writing something that was part of Doomsday Kingdom. So I'm watching Jaws, and when he's throwing out the chum on the boat, some of you who love Jaws will appreciate this. The Sheriff Brody dabs this liquid onto his rag that's on his shoulder, and he sniffs it, you know, because the chum smells so bad. He sniffs this rag. And I tried looking up that scene. I remember I gave up quickly, but it's been so long I forget the details. But I tried looking up that scene because I wanted to know if that was some type of smelling salts or if that was some type of perfume. If you guys want to look it up and see what it was, I think that would be pretty cool. But I did incorporate that. There's more to come with the masks because, again, they're involved in the story. But one thing is having that scent overpower them was something that I knew I wanted to incorporate in a fun way. So that is, again, one of the big reveals mask-wise where they put on. But this part I love because in issue 1, we see the rider and the prisoner, you know, and the rider puts the prisoner on the feeding post, and then we flash back to the past, and we're in 2028 in this world, in the world that's in the comic. It's a little bit in the future, so there's some, you know, future-ish shit that we don't have currently now. There's something called a digital ID, and they talk about it in issue 5. It's basically an ID that catalogs you, but on the computer. You know how we have the cloud and you can put your photos, your documents, your yada yada yada. You have your driver's license while you're in the state. Well, in this world, there's a federal ID that catalogs where you live, your second homes, and yada yada yada. And this has to do with emergencies. This has to do with, in that world there was a race war already. In this world there was also a little mini skirmish between states. There's stuff coming up like that is interesting because it kind of adds a little futuristic touch to the story instead of just here's a story with zombies. Anyhow, so in issue 1 you got the prisoner and the rider, and everyone is right from the rip. They're like, I know who the rider is right from the rip. So then we try to play with that, and then in the last preview to the volume, you see these two characters show up, and you're convinced that they're following, you know, the rider and the prisoner. And you're, at this point, if you're paying attention, you're convinced that this person is friendly with the rider. So it gets to the cliffhanger where he says, I'm not really sure about the tracks, but don't worry, we'll find that piece of shit. And then it does a picture reveal of the character. And so that's one of those moments where I'm hoping some people will read that and be like, oh, wait a minute. You know, this whole time we were thinking we knew who the rider was. We thought these people were following the rider or coming up on the rider. But maybe in reality, maybe the prisoner is the person that we thought was the rider. You know what I mean? Maybe it's vice versa. Like, for example, Tristan is a character that a lot of people like to put under the rider's mask. And so at this point in time, maybe you can be like, yo, maybe it's Tristan's the fucking prisoner, you know? And again, it's not supposed to be like this mystery, yada, yada, yada. But it's a little cherry on top of what we got going on. You don't have to drive yourself crazy because there's something coming up with the outfit that is that's the big moment. It's not who is the rider right now, who is the prisoner right now, because again, something's gonna come up in like volume 5 or 6-ish, and maybe sooner, and that's the big moment. That's the big rider reveal where it's like, oh shit, okay. Do you think Georgia is overrun with zombies on The Walking Dead? Seems like it. Hey, Ronnie, got my Doomsday Kingdom today. Merry Christmas, man. Oh, that's what's up, Chris. I'm happy to hear it. So far, we had great luck. No one getting damaged copies, and a lot of people got theirs up to today. You're the first person I heard got it today, though. That's fucking awesome. Sorry if you've explained this a million times, but when Volume 1 Compendium of Doomsday Kingdom be available for purchase? Wait, what? When with Volume 1 Compendium of... All right, there's no Volume 1 Compendium. Volume 1 is just this. If we do a Compendium 1, that's years and years away. Compendiums hold 50 issues, and our compendiums will hold 45 issues. But like The Walking Dead, for example, has 6 issues per volume, and we have 5 issues per volume. But we're color; they're in black and white. So, oh fuck, wasn't supposed to show anything. But so it's fine because we're gonna do everyone got their books right now anyway. But so we have 45 issues released in this one book. I'm sorry, we have 5 issues released in this one book. You would need 45 issues to release a compendium. That's like this thick, you know? Compendiums are huge, bruh. So we would have to do this fucking wow, my math was off. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, but we would have to do 9 of these to do one compendium. So what does The Walking Dead do? Do they do 8 of these for one compendium? I think it would be 8, right? No, maybe they... Yeah, I think it would be 8. Because that would make a... No. Fuck me. I don't know. 9 books, you know, to make a compendium. That's crazy. I would love to get there. By then we would have so much shit. So if you're waiting for a compendium, just buy the volume, bro. You get the volume, you get 5 free posters, you get a free bookmark, you get a free trading card. Just trust me. Get the volume. You get the free premium upgrade in the quality of paper. You get the free spot UV. These are all bonuses. Like when we reprint these, the blood will not be on. This is shiny blood on the cover. The blood will not be on the cover. The pages will not be the premium pages. They will be regular comic pages because these ones are premium and a little bit more high quality. And the only reason is because we wouldn't be able to afford it. We were able to afford it because we did one shot with the volume and we put everything in the printing, you know, the best quality we could. And then we took a little bit of change to keep us going into the next one. Wait, sorry if you explained this a million times, but when will Volume 1 Compendium of Doomsday Kingdom be available for purchase? Also, how do I track my order from your website? All right, 2 things. Again, I think you might be thinking of this. If you're getting the volume, this is sold on Indiegogo, and this is a volume. A compendium is something totally different. That is not coming for like 3 years. I think The Walking Dead releases a compendium every 4 years or something. And when it comes to my website or Indiegogo, you get an email with the tracking number. On Indiegogo, you could just go into your account and see where your order is. But on Doomsday Kingdom, we send you an email with the tracking number. And I'm almost positive I see your name and I recognize your name. I just shipped out issue 4 or something to you like 2 weeks ago or a week ago. You should have gotten a tracking number in your email. So if you're not getting emails from Doomsday Kingdom, from Ronnie Hayes, you need to go in your Gmail, whatever Gmail you used, and you need to check your spam folder and okay us, you know, as a credible, you know, site and yada, yada, yada. But we send emails. So with everyone gets a tracking number. Can you put that on screen? You talking about this? Bam. Happy Holidays isn't Commonwealth an underwhelming storyline now that CRM is a bigger community and holds the whole universe series finale since Rick's story will end there? I have a feeling the CRM is going to be a community that will be shattered and defeated. So, no. I get it. The CRM is a big, you know, mysterious community, but think about it. The Commonwealth is the future, you know. CRM is just the bully that's in the way. So once that's defeated, That's like the big bad. The final boss fight of the series likely is the CRM. So depending on how that's structured, I think the Commonwealth works. And again, I don't like the Commonwealth storyline, but I understand why they would do it to finish out the series. It's to put everyone in a community that all right, I'm going to take a shot at Kirkman. I feel like it's cheap that our characters ran into a big community that was all fresh and ready for them to take over, become president of it, yada, yada, yada. Why didn't Alexandria just become the big community? Do you know why? Because it's not interesting enough to finish out the story. Instead of having Alexandria build on, enter some type of whatever, or even move the community. I mean, they moved anyway. Think about the comic. We found a new community, and then he time skipped and we left Alexandria. Why didn't they just find other groups and settlements? And then Alexandria succeeded, grew so big that they relocated everybody, and that could have been Rick's final moment. The relocation of all his people, and he kept them safe. He ends up dying at the end, but he didn't lose one person. Imagine that as a difference, because we always see these stories where when they go off and do shit, runs and scavenger runs, some red shirt dies, some random person dies. But imagine a story where they go through hell. And just because people die don't mean make it interesting, but these people go through hell, and Rick makes it to where no one dies, but he ended up dying, like just getting there so badly wounded. I don't know, something cool. That could have been one hell of a way to end Rick's story arc, and not nap time, you know what I mean? Just fuck, the way they ended Rick was so fucking stupid and terrible and shitty. It's unfucking real, man. Anyway, yeah, Matt, I don't know. I love that idea. It just popped in my head, and I'm like, as a fan, I'm like, we should have got something like that, because they left Alexandria anyway, and it was off screen. So why not do that? Have the community get so big, and then they discover a few new locations where they can go to, and then make it big, and yada, yada, yada. Connect with this Commonwealth community, and then this other community that Maggie knows from her group. And now you got this big, huge connection of communities that's really close to each other, and finish it out, because now it's like, it's big enough to where it can go back to some sort of normalcy, and that's how you leave it. And you always leave room for them to come back in 20 years and, do a fucking reunion. How much for volume 1, my man? $30. You get 128 pages and all the goodies for $30, plus $10 shipping. So $40 in total. Bam. And when you get it in hand, trust me, everything is premium. You can ask anyone who ordered a copy in the chat. We went all out. When you get it in hand, I think that's been our biggest compliment and biggest feedback. People get it in hand and they're like, bro, this is better quality. And this is something I can say objectively. Most, if not all, of your comics trade paperbacks, unless it's a special limited edition, this will beat it in quality, hands down. And that's because we paid for that. We paid to have an expensive UV finish on the cover. We paid to have an expensive interior pages, and I'm talking about the pages themselves. And we did that as a celebration for all of us, to be able to put out this book. And that's one thing we constantly hear is the quality. It beats anything Image got, anything Marvel and DC got. And I'm talking about the paper itself. Trust me, put them side by side. And it makes sense, though, because they're owned by a corporation that just wants to make as much money as possible. They got shareholders to deal with and all that shit. So they're not going to argue about thicker paper. They're going to say, take the cheap paper and it makes us more money. It saves us, hundreds and thousands of dollars. Shut up and take the cheap paper. Anyway, if that redheaded cop was in Grady Hospital, I suppose she could be in Commonwealth. Maybe. 8 volumes per compendium. If you like good stories and good art, check out Doomsday Kingdom. Thank you very much, Chris. I think half the people from Grady Hospital will be at Commonwealth. They could be there. They really could be there, but I don't think they'll be there, because Grady Hospital's 600 miles away. It's nowhere near where we're at. And I don't think anyone would recognize or remember them. I don't think there's a reason to bring them back. If they did, it would be just something in the background for hardcore fans to pick up on. I'm not really sure. Oh, yeah, I can mod you, Chris, if you want to be a mod. There you go. It's a lot of pages. It is 128. All story, no filler. I'm really digging the Speak Your Geek podcast. Doing a great job on questions for the guests. Good stuff. Very entertaining. I love doing those. I think they're fun as hell. If they are to continue, I'm gonna stick with one thing in particular. I gotta trim the editing because I know with the first two, I put a good amount of editing looking for clips, and especially the second one, just because I find it fun. But I gotta trim it back a little bit. I think I'm gonna ask guests to give me, 2 or 3 of whatever pick, is fitting, because we're gonna try to discuss different things, not just people who are putting out projects, but different things. Just put out a couple picks. We're going to do a straight up discussion, no editing, no bullshit, no taking anyone out of context, and just start dropping them. But again, I want to wait until we get Flaw and Awe back on track, and then we'll do some more Speak Your Geek. I did get a little off track with the last one. Just because I got so into and so curious about the Charlie Chaplin comic. And I got a little sidetracked because I wanted to get into more of what Speak Your Geek is, which is talking about, geek culture, which is essentially a lame mainstream, way of saying favorite movies, what inspires you when it comes to the stories, and, what do you like, yada, yada, yada. So we're going to get into more of that, as well as, some drama, but not that type, We're talking about, like, real stories from what it's really like, not people coming trying to sell a movie and they got everyone is awesome and we're like a family. No, we want to hear the real deal, I'm really digging that. Thanks for the info, Chris. Just popped in to say Merry Christmas. Thank you very much. I gotta go, actually, because my daughter, she's been threatening to set an alarm for 5 in the morning and it's 4. I'll be dead getting up at 5. I'll keep checking my email. Thanks. Actually, give me 1 second. I might be able to pull up the account in 1 second here. What the fuck? Who do I think will play Mercer? An unknown actor, or lesser known. I don't think it should be anyone huge. It just distracts from what we got going on. All right, orders. So fulfilled. What order did they go in? Corey was your name. Corey J. Let me click. Wait, when did you order? I don't see a date here. Close. Where's the date? I don't see a fucking date. Ah, there we go. Where are you at? I don't know what the mail's looking like, Corey, but I see you're a new order. I misunderstood. I got you confused with somebody who ordered 2 to 3 weeks ago. You ordered 5 days ago, and I got you confused. But I really do appreciate you bringing it up, though, because this order must have flown right under my notifications. We only have one new order for Doomsday Kingdom right now, and you're it. I'll wrap that up when I shut this down, and we'll get it right out to you. It usually takes like 2 days to get to you, but I hear the post office is backed up. It shouldn't be no more than 5 days. I'm fucking hoping, but I'll get that right out to you Monday, right? Because tomorrow is Christmas, and then Sunday, and then Monday. I hear you, Adam. I spent a few few Christmases and Thanksgivings alone, hanging out at the bar, just with the local yokel, Chris Stanley with a $5 dono. Merry Christmas, Ronnie. Thank you very much, Chris. I appreciate the dono, and Merry Christmas. I hope you have a good holiday, and I hope you have a great New Year. Any last questions before we shut this down? Ronnie, have you seen Hunter x Hunter? It's kind of wild. No. Wait a minute. You know what? I think I saw a trailer for Hunter x Hunter. I don't remember what it was. I just remember looking at that title going, wait, what the fuck? Isn't that... what is Hunter x Hunter? I remember seeing that just recently. Hunter x Hunter. Oh, they go in the woods and something's there hunting them. Oh, you can watch it now, actually. Is it any good? Tiny Lister, yeah. Thank you very much, Corey. Hope you have a good holiday. And again, if I don't do a stream before New Year's, which I think we're going to do a Doomsday Kingdom stream, thank you very much, and have a good Merry Christmas and a good New Year. Post office got people's mail. Abist. Yeah, I hear mail's all crazy. Wait, you do a podcast, Ronnie? Got to find this. Well, there's only 2 episodes right now, and it's called a podcast. It's the best thing to call it because it's not supposed to focus on a lot of visuals, but I can't help myself. I got to put a few visuals in there. It's called Speak Your Geek, and it has the 2 podcasts are with speaking with 2 individuals. One is an entertainment correspondent, and the other is a comic creator putting out a comic book based on Charlie Chaplin's life, but in an interesting take, grounded in realism based off his autobiography. It has some artwork that reminded me of Joker and some other cool, interesting stuff in there as well. And it deals with cancel culture, essentially, is the hook, I should say. Because when I heard that at first, too, I was like, wait, Charlie Chaplin? I don't understand how that's a comic that's so, surprising. I'm interested, you know what I mean? But essentially it is about cancel culture, and or at least that's a heavy theme in it, so you could check those out. I would love to do more of those. The Speak Your Geek is the series I've talked about for a while. About it's either me talking, just me, when it's about different topics, and that's anything in the pop culture. There's either me just talking, me and another person talking, whether it's an interview or a discussion, just a back and forth. And the other third one, which we talked about a month before fucking COVID came, was I was attempting to go out in public and interview people at Comic-Cons and shit like that. However, with COVID, y'all know it shut everything down. Yeah, Charlie's London. That's the name of the second podcast. So yeah, that just shit on it. So for right now, Speak Your Geek is only, either me talking or me talking with somebody else. But I would like to get some more of those done. They're real fun. But yeah, I'm going to get going and go to bed. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight. I will probably follow up with you guys for New Year's, maybe an earlier New Year's Eve stream. I'm going to visit my brother for New Year's Eve, and I don't know, we're going to play some games with his kids and my kid, and my mother's coming, so the kid's grandmother. We're all going to meet up, let the kids stay up and do a kind of a celebration with them. I might drink and just stay the night there, so I doubt I'm going to be here doing a video. So I'll probably do one a little early. It depends if that happens or not. And we'll discuss some of the Doomsday Kingdom, because I want to touch base with some of you guys who have read it and kind of go over and explain some things. So I'm hyped. I'm really hyped. We're working on issue 6 now. We're looking at a remaster of issue 1 in the works as well, which, again, there's no rush on that. Issue 6 is priority. Issue 7 is priority following after that, because as of right now, the plan is to release issue 5 physical, after Christmas. I was going to do it all in December, but a couple people said, hey, Ronnie, it's going to be a little tight around December for Christmas and yada, yada, yada. And I totally agree. So we pushed everything to January because we were going to come out with the remaster of issue 1, the physical of issue 5, the digital of issue 6. And as exciting as that is, it's December, man. That's a hard time of year to, so recover. In January, we're going to just do issue 6. In February, we're going to do issue 7. And we will also combine 6 and 7 into a special Indiegogo book. And for those who don't like the floppy comics, we're going to be doing another book with 6 and 7. And then we'll do 8 and 9. And we'll continue that for Indiegogo to see how it plays out. That'd be kind of fun. And again, when we get 5 books, or 5 issues, I should say, we're always going to combine them. So if you only want the volumes, let's say you don't want the floppies, we're probably always going to put out a volume. If you're only collecting the floppies, as of right now, we're always putting out floppies. It's just hit or miss. It depends. But all right, I got to roll. I'll talk to you guys later. Of course he will. It's Marvel. Come on. Robert Downey Jr. will be back as Iron Man. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back. Like, if they go and get Iron Man from another dimension and just bring him back, let's say a dimension that his world is gone. Put it this way, and then I'll get off, because I can picture they are fighting some, like the new setup for the Avengers type movie is they're fighting some being from a different Earth. Didn't Mysterio say he was from a different Earth or whatever? Well, they're actually fighting a being from a different Earth, and they somehow travel to that different Earth with the being, and there's an Iron Man there, and it is it is similar to the Iron Man here, but it's a new Iron Man. So now he's got to reconnect with all the old Avengers. So now it's new hijinks ensues, but it's still Tony at heart that we know and love. And that Earth is dying, and he doesn't want to let it go. He's trying to help it and yada yada, but there's nothing he could do. So they pull him to regular Earth, and then he takes the Iron Man's place essentially. So you got Robert Downey Jr. back as Iron Man, just not the Iron Man we knew and love. I don't know. Again, I think I would not be surprised if they did that. I'm not saying I want them to do that. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. All right. And yeah, I could talk, comics and bullshit all day, but I'm looking at that clock and I'm like, my daughter is going to beat my ass. She's going to wake me up in the morning and I'm going to be like, what? Get away from me. You got coal anyway. Just go away. Go back to bed. Santa didn't come yet. All right. Have a good night, guys. Merry Christmas and have a Happy New Year. Not yet. No. Oh, wait. I'm clicking on the wrong thing. Here we go. Yep. Merry Christmas. Thank you for all the support in 2020. I just want to say that I'm looking forward to to what we got coming out in 2021. But thank you very much for the support, and I'm going to do my best to get one more stream in before the end of 2020. What a shit year, bro. Just be safe out there and spend your time with your family. Fuck the rules. Fuck them. Unless you're really nervous, then yeah, all right.